The rain hammered against the windshield of Evadne's rusty old Volvo, obscuring the already treacherous mountain road. A flash of lightning illuminated a lone, weathered cabin nestled amongst the pines, its windows glowing with a warm, inviting light. Her car sputtered and died, leaving her stranded in the middle of nowhere, with a symphony of frustration playing in her mind. Just as Evadne considered resigning herself to a long night of solitude, a figure emerged from the shadows of the cabin, his tall frame obscured by the downpour. The man, Alistair, his face framed by a messy beard and wild, unruly hair, scowled as he saw her stranded vehicle. He clearly preferred his solitude, a sentiment that Evadne, a whirlwind of a woman who saw a world of possibilities in every fleeting moment, found endearingly frustrating. Car trouble? Alistair's voice, deep and raspy, sounded like it was weathered from years spent under a stormy sky. Evadne flashed him a bright smile. "I wouldn't know what to do without a charming stranger to help." Her tone was light, playful, but the glint in her eyes was sharp, ready for the challenge he presented. Alistair only raised an eyebrow, an unspoken, charming stranger to be decided upon, but as he surveyed the damage to her car, his stoic demeanor softened ever so slightly, hinting at a possible compromise. Inside the warm cabin, the scent of pine and pipe tobacco filled the air, an aroma as intriguing as the man himself. Alistair, clearly not used to company, gestured towards the dusty armchair. "But make yourself comfortable," he said gruffly, but there was a tremor in his voice that betrayed his calm exterior. Evadne, feeling strangely at ease, set down her violin case on the old wooden floor. Its weathered surface spoke of a past filled with silent stories, a testament to the life that pulsed within this quiet abode. "This is beautiful," Evadne murmured, her eyes scanning the walls, a symphony of framed scores, music sheets, and ancient sheet music littering the tables, a symphony of unplayed melodies whispering of their own stories. "You know a little something about music, then?" Alistair questioned, a spark of curiosity lighting his weary eyes. Evadne, seeing an opportunity to bridge the chasm between them, smiled. "A bit. My violin and I, we've seen better days. But there's nothing that music can't heal," she said, her eyes sparkling with passion, mirroring the spark that flickered in his. Alistair hesitated, then, as if drawn by an invisible melody, picked up a battered guitar from a nearby stand. "But maybe we can make some music," he suggested, the word shy, yet carrying the weight of a long-buried longing. The strumming of Alistair's guitar intertwined with Evadne's soaring violin notes, weaving a melody of hope, despair, and unexpected camaraderie. As they played, they shared stories and unspoken emotions, a language they found easier to express through music than words. Evadne learned about Alistair, a tortured artist plagued by the shadows of his past. His music, melancholic and breathtakingly beautiful, echoed a symphony of loneliness, yet within its mournful tones lay a glimmer of something precious, waiting to be unveiled. He listened as Evadne spoke of her dreams, her fears of stagnation, her longing to leave the safe but confining world she had built for herself. Her melodies, vibrant, were a celebration of life, echoing a desire for adventure and connection. Through their shared passion for music, they built a bridge of trust, their individual melodies harmonizing into a bittersweet song of shared vulnerability and hope. The days that followed were a flurry of laughter, music, and intimate conversations. However, a shadow hung over their newfound peace. The deadline for Alistair's composition, a symphony he had promised a prestigious orchestra, was looming large. His anxieties, buried under years of silence, surfaced as a chilling dissonance, threatening to drown their newfound harmony. "It's a burden I carry," Alistair confessed one evening, his voice thick with despair as he looked at the unfinished score. "The symphony demands a level of commitment I'm not sure I can give." Evadne, her heart heavy with concern, reached for his hand. "You have more talent than you can ever imagine," she said, her eyes filled with an intensity that reflected the music they shared. "This isn't a burden, it's a gift." But Alistair, despite the love she offered, retreated further into himself, caught in the fugue of his uncertainty, afraid of the impossible demands the symphony placed on him, a symphony mirroring his own heart, filled with both fear and promise. Alistair retreated to his composing room, a sanctuary where he sought to conquer his inner demons. He poured his frustrations, his fears, and the longing in his heart onto the score. His melodies echoed the painful truth of his past, his self-doubt, and his long-dormant desire for redemption. One evening, Alistair emerged. The air around him changed. The tension had subsided, replaced by an inner peace. He looked at Evadne, his eyes reflecting a renewed hope, and handed her the score. "This," he whispered, his voice hoarse, but filled with quiet confidence, "is for you." As Evadne's eyes scanned the sheet, her own fear dissolved, replaced by an understanding of the pain that had shaped the melody. Within the symphony's sorrowful notes, she recognized the man she was falling for, the man who was fighting to reclaim his voice and find solace in his art. She saw the harmony he sought, the one he found in her presence and in his music. Evadne, ever the free spirit, was ready to embark on her own adventure. The call of the unknown beckoned, a symphony of potential playing in her heart. Her eyes, as bright as the starlit night, held a reflection of the choices she had to make. "I have to go, Alistair," she said, her voice firm yet tinged with sorrow. "But this," she gestured towards their newfound connection, "it is more than a melody that will fade away." Alistair's gaze met hers, filled with an emotion he could not express. "Is it enough for you, this interlude?" "It's enough to understand that what we've created is precious and needs to be cherished, but for me, the world awaits," Evadne replied, her voice firm, echoing the unwavering spirit that resonated in her music. The silence between them spoke volumes, their melodies weaving a silent harmony, filled with acceptance, longing, and an unspoken agreement. Evadne left with the rising sun, leaving Alistair behind in his solitude. He looked at the symphony score, a reminder of their connection. The music was no longer a burden. It was a beacon, guiding him towards his future, an undeniable call to follow his passion, his truth. He saw the score not just as a symphony, but as a testament to the love and courage Evadne had shown him. She had shown him the strength to overcome his self-doubt and to face the world with his music. He packed his bags, the notes of the symphony echoing his own internal symphony. His journey, though painful, was one he was finally ready to face, with a heart full of music and a lingering desire to find his way back to the melody he had found in Evadne. He decided to contact the orchestra, accepting their invitation to conduct his symphony, embracing the challenge and the journey it promised. Evadne traveled the world, her violin filling concert halls with the passion of her melodies. Yet, no matter how far she went, a part of her always remained in the quiet mountains with Alistair. She received his letters, filled with the same intensity and longing she had witnessed in his eyes. Evadne received news that Alistair's symphony was a triumph, but a shadow remained in her heart, the lingering possibility that their love, like a beautiful melody, might fade into silence, leaving an empty space in her life. She realized her dreams weren't just about finding her own voice, but also about understanding what she wanted her life to be, her music to sound like. Evadne took a chance and returned to the cabin. She needed to see Alistair again, to understand if their journey was a forgotten melody or a piece they needed to rewrite. Alistair, seeing Evadne on the dusty road outside his cabin, felt his heart leap. He was no longer the troubled artist she had first met. The symphony, a success, had given him the confidence he had lacked, but he was still incomplete without her. "Why?" Alistair asked, his voice a whisper, a symphony of longing and uncertainty. "After all I put you through, you come back to me?" Evadne looked at the man she had fallen for, the man she could still love. "Because I know now," she replied, her eyes reflecting the wisdom of the miles she had traveled. This melody between us, it's unfinished, but worth the risk, worth writing again." Evadne's return to the mountain cabin didn't just bring about the continuation of a love story, but a transformation of the individual dreams of each artist. Evadne embraced the complexity of her artistic journey, choosing not to seek a predictable, comfortable path, but one filled with challenges and change. Her heart had never felt more full as she accepted Alistair's love, embracing the intricate, often challenging melody their lives had become. Alistair embraced his role as a composer and conductor, finding fulfillment in the language of music, but most importantly, finding fulfillment in the unconditional love Evadne brought into his life. He recognized that the love he shared with Evadne was a harmony, an understanding they had cultivated together, not an escape from his demons, but a strength that helped him to conquer them. The future held many possibilities for them. There was no certainty, only the thrilling journey of discovering how their individual melodies would continue to resonate in the symphony of their shared lives. They understood that even with the harmony of their love, they would need to continue writing their own melodies, creating a symphony as beautiful, intricate, and full of potential as the journey that had led them together.